I want to welcome you to our annual back to school night for our junior high parents. I apologize for not being able to be present physically tonight. My knee surgery went well and I hope to return very soon. I actually had my post op this morning and he drained about 50 cc's of fluid out of my knee. He said I should be able to get back to it pretty soon. Although some of you are familiar with my background, many are not, so let me take a second to introduce myself. I graduated from Harding University in 1999 with a BA degree in mathematics education, certified to teach grades 6 through 12. I started teaching that fall here at GACS. I then pursued a master's degree at Georgia State University with a focus on educational leadership and earned that degree in the spring of 2004. I took that summer off and continued my graduate school program and received an educational specialist degree and also educational leadership from Georgia State University in the spring of 2006. I've taught math here at GAC for 16 years, including Math 6, Honors Math 6, Math 7, Pre-Algebra, Honors Pre-Algebra, and Algebra 1. I'm also the head varsity wrestling coach at GAC, been coaching since I got here, and just finished my 10th year as the head coach. And we saw our first state champ, besides the other things you see on the screen there. We've got our first state champ this past season with DJ Coker, our heavyweight, who is now at Rhodes College on a football scholarship. All right, I'll introduce a little more personally here, my family. This is my wife Erin and myself this summer in the Smokies. We met while at Harding and were married after my first semester teaching here at GAC in December of 1999. Then along came our three little ones, Macy, Mia, and Grady. Macy is now 14, Mia is 9, and Grady is 7. Here's a snapshot from the summer during our week in the Smoky Mountains. One of the blessings I've enjoyed while teaching at GAC has been to participate and lead several mission trips with our junior high and senior high students, both domestic and foreign. My first exposure to missions was while I was a college student. That first trip really changed my life forever. And missions is such a huge part of who we are at GAC. So when your son or daughter comes home and says, "Hey, I want to sign up for a mission trip," don't hesitate to say yes. It's a great experience working with short-time and long-time missionaries as well as people you get to help out here in the States as well as around the world. One of the most exciting things this year is our focus on having a growth mindset. The coach in me absolutely loves this idea. I just wish we had realized its connection to learning years ago. Take a look at the growth mindset on the screen. On the left there it says, "I can learn anything I want to." When I'm frustrated, I persevere. I want to challenge myself. When I fail, I learn. Tell me I try hard. If you succeed, I'm inspired. And my effort and attitude determine everything. I love the idea of the growth mindset, both as a math teacher and as a coach. Here's a couple quotes here that go along with the growth mindset. Here's one from Thomas Edison. "I haven't failed, I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Another one here from Nelson Mandela. "Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." So true. And this last one, it's true, but it's a little silly. "We only get stronger when it's difficult." And I realize that as a father, as a coach, as a teacher, that my children, my students, my athletes, only going to get a little stronger when it gets difficult and there's a challenge in their path. Something else that's new school-wide is our new retake policy. I've been doing some thinking, something like this for years, but not for every student. I like the idea that a student who gets a 91, let's say on a unit test, thinks to themselves, "That's not my best. I can do better. Let me try again." Something that will be super beneficial this year is our standards-based grading book. Each skill or standard will be assessed, and when mastery is shown, they move on. Just like in my wrestling room, I might have some advanced kids who are proficient at a certain wrestling move, but some others who are going to have to stay after or come early to practice and get some more reps in so they can bring their ability level up. So you see our first standard in 6th grade math here on the screen, and also some examples at the bottom. We're dividing by fractions. And see the real world application there. For example, how much chocolate will each person get if 3 people share a half pound of chocolate equally? And here's our first standard for our honors Math 6, or I'm sorry, honors pre-algebra course, talking about statistics and getting a good sample of the population in a survey, or we'll talk about census as well. Something else that's new this year is a grade book that's split up into several parts. There's the regular academic grade book that will have all the test grades in it. Then there's the standards grade book, which will break all of our units up into each and every standard. Like in sixth grade, we have multiple standards to go towards one unit. I know in the seventh grade course there are 4 different standards in our first unit. And of course, once we cover those, that'll be our units called inferences. There's 12 units in our honors 7th grade class. And lastly, there's a behavioral component that we're talking about right here on this slide and the next few slides for each and every one of our classes. This first part is the academic part of our behavioral standards. This second part is about completing work, which I think is super important, obviously. And the third part is working with classmates. Most of the time, students will be working collaboratively in a group, and so this is an important aspect of our behavior, is to be able to work with other students. And lastly, working with adults, basically working with me. So these are something that's new. I think it's going to be great. And again, these behaviors are important, but they should not affect the academic grade, and that's what we're trying to do. All right, most of you are very familiar with Haiku, but if you're not, Haiku is a place to find assignments, which are listed on the calendar, and to find the standards we're working on right now, as well as our grade book and extra resources. Some of these resources include, I have these on my website as well, IXL, Math is Fun, Brain Pop, Pre-Algebra Worksheets for Kids, or just Worksheet for Kids, and Math Dude. The first one here is IXL. It's a great program to assess where students are on each and every standard. The second one, Math is Fun, is a quality website that not only has some good information, but also has a place to practice our standards and also to find vocabulary terms. Brain Pop has been around since I started teaching. It's a great resource, and we use it in class from time to time, not only short, but also well-crafted videos. They also have quizzes and extra activities that go along, and they meet our standards as well. Like I said, this one, Math Worksheets for Kids, it's a great resource for you at home. If your child is struggling in one area or another, they can go here and find a practice worksheet to complete, and the answers are already there for them. And the last one I have on the screen here is Math Dude. Math Dude creates some fun and pretty cheesy videos, to be honest with you, that we'll use from time to time in class, but also Math Antics. It's not listed here, but it's something I use quite a bit. He does some cheesy videos as well, but they're a little bit more up to date than Math Dude. And lastly, if your son or daughter has any questions that we didn't get to in class, or just needs some extra clarification on a skill or a standard, please don't hesitate to send them to me on Wednesdays before school. We'll be in my home base of room 222. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, thank you for your attention tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions. I apologize again for not being there. Hopefully I'll be back on my feet soon.